Okay. Hi guys. So today we are going into pandas. This I have taken into consideration because we have no time for taking all over the remaining course in the classes, and that too we are having a lot of disturbance while we are actually teaching the classes, right? So it's a very disgusting thing on my side because every time the wireless or the internet service of the mobiles are going down, so this creates a lot of distraction in our classes and I am unable to concentrate on what I am telling. So I'm trying to take the classes here in this course, the remaining things like concepts. So today I will take out about pandas, and today in the sense like this recording holds for pandas, and at last I will leave with correlation and plotting, because after we discuss matplotlib, then we can also discuss about this plotting and all. Anyway, before your exams, I will launch all the videos. There is no need to worry about this. There is only the worry about remembering few functions that we discuss now. So we can discuss in detail later in the later semesters, or anything that we go through this, the data structures. So let me go through this. For example, let us talk about what are pandas and how you do it. Let me share the screen. Okay. So if you don't have pandas, then simply open this and see whether the pandas is there or not. So to check it out, you can also find out the version or something. Let me try like this. So it says something like it is not there. Let me try out Python 3 pandas. Okay, so this is not the command that we do it. So first of all, I want to do something like how we can actually find out the version of pandas. One second. Okay, going through this, let me check out the other way that we can do. Let me go to this VS Code and try to say import pandas. Naturally, if you save it, the pandas is already installed in your system. I think there will be no problem, and this will actually take into consideration the compilation. Don't give any the auto compilation. Don't give any errors to you. So if you try to find out still further, you can also write something like print um, pandas dot hyphen hyphen version, which actually shows what is the version in this. This is how you can do it. Just try to save it and try to compile it if possible, and interpret and execute it. So our name of this is, yeah, Python 3 pandas demo.py. Yeah, it gives us this answer. You can see here in this. So it shows this 1.2.3 is the one that is actually taking consideration. Right. Let me go through the other things. If this is not the case, if you are using some Linux or something, please try to install it by finding out how you can install in Windows and also in this one. The most probably we can do something like sudo install. Let me try like this, pandas. Yeah. I think that install requires something. So sudo Python 3, sorry, pip. It's using pip. I need to do it. Pip install pandas. Uh, okay, let me try with pip 3. Yeah, it says that this requirement is already satisfied, but most probably the way you install this one, you can use directly for Windows. It is like, pip might be that gives you. So you can also use pip3 install pandas. And before that, I think pip is already installed in your systems. If it is not installed, the better way is to go through internet and find out how you can install pip, which is very easy. And most probably the reason why this warning comes is that the pip is not in the path sometimes. But in Mac, I have no problem. But basically, if you are in Windows, please try to set the path, or every time you need to take the path and do it. I think you can also find out in internet like how you can do it using Windows. Like you can take and click on the start button and find out where are the environmental variable settings. Go to the environment variables and paste the entire path of those, the pandas or whatever you got, and this will work probably fine. Okay. This is the way you can do it. If you have any problems, we can also discuss regarding. But please try to make it out. Before you come to me, I need you to try a lot of trials to make it out for your successful destination. Right. Let me go through this pandas thing. So I use basically these pandas because I want something like, the library that works for my data science. So which actualizes the data sets, which can clean the data sets, which can read them, which can analyze them and show it to me every time. So there are a lot of ways that you store the data, right? So when we are discussing about files, you remember that it can be stored in something like this, Um, one second. One second. Okay. So let me brief this one like this. So on the hard disk, you can share the files like, you can store it on the hard disk is one aspect, and you can store it in different aspects, different files like CSV, Excel, JSON, and so and so. Now, you might ask me a question, why this CSV and JSON are really required and so. So we store the data in such a way that a human actually reads them. But nowadays, we have something like the computers interacting with each other because of the intelligence that is growing day by day. And if two systems are interacting with one another, it is better that the data is stored in the format that is understandable by the machines. So there are many libraries to parse the CSV and JSON, but today we talk about using pandas, and we actually parse the data using in CSV and JSON formats. So I will also tell you how you can take a JSON file and take out all the data into it and bring out it as a dictionary. And from this dictionary, you can see how the data can be arranged in a more better way called data frame. So here, one thing that we had in this is a data frame. This data frame is a data structure that is actually a 2D one. It looks like your matrix. So it will be having indexes for both, I'll draw it like this if possible. So for both rows and columns. like this. This is about rows, and this is about columns. Okay, so in between you can insert some elements like this, and this is something like your matrix, 2D matrix form. Like I cannot say it is matrix, it is like 2D array form. Okay, the data, it assumes it like this. So let us see how we can take the data and represent in this type of data frame. Okay, data frame is something like available data structure in Pandas and other libraries, which is very useful for us to visualize data. Visualize in the sense how we look into the data to analyze it. So it's very useful for us even for our later analysis. So when you come to this Pandas, so Pandas allow us to analyze big data, make conclusions based on statistical theories, and sometimes Pandas can clean messy data sets. Sometimes there will be something like null values in the data sets. They are called none or something. I will show you that one also, how you can get it. Okay. So when you see some data, or collection which is having none, for example, take your all details. For example, there is a column called mset, and some of you might have written mset, and some of you might have written just a get or something. So in the mset column, if you are not getting any rank, maybe I will take none. Okay, none in the sense nothing is present. Now, in this case, I want to look into all the people who only have written, along with the people who have written GAT, who also have written MSET. So what can I do is just I want to eliminate the data rows which are having none in place of MSET rank. And I want to only take the people from those rows. I can say something like I will just say N for none. Okay. So this is the row, the student row, the details like this get rank or MSET rank, the name and roll number. Let us take all these X's or different values of a student who is in row 1 with index 1. And because it is none, I want to get the answer only 2 ways, like the 0th row and the second row should only be given to me like this. The answer should only present me like this. So if this is the case, then you need to understand that how we are analyzing the data, how we are visualizing the data is very important in our day-to-day data science tasks. So this pandas really help us in parsing and processing the Excels, the CSVs, and all. Okay. So we can also go through the Excel things. I will slowly launch one by one. There is no need of any aspect of theoretical things. I can give you one example that in theory semester exams you will get it like this. It will ask you something like, please explain all the functions that regarding this pandas and what are the things it can do. Okay, it is fine for you to show one example, writing 2 or 3 lines of code for parsing a CSV file, writing 3 lines of code for parsing JSON, and you can show how you can delete the cells, how you can write the cells. You can also show them how the CSV file will be and how the output of this code will be, like that. Some example you can give. So whatever you do practically in in your computer now, along with me, is what you also can do in on paper, or you can write something, because there is no hard code here, very, very soft code and very small code it is. So it is very easy for you to even remember what are the functions and classes that are available for this. Okay. So generally, if you go with pandas, let us talk about the first thing that we need to do. We need to first we need to first import pandas, like what I have shown you here, right? So initially we found out this version and all. Let me go through this. Let me comment it. Come to this one. One thing I can do is that I can take a data class and I can print it something like this. So let me take a dictionary. Okay, first I will make you know what is a dictionary, and then I will make you create a CSV and JSON file and parse them to get the data. So one by one and step by step, I will make you know, right? So take a data set. Okay, take a data set something, and you create it like a dictionary which holds some values. Maybe you can say maybe um, write the names and the roll number. So see how I create it. So I will say the roll number. This is the key I am making it. I am having a list of roll numbers, something like 6001, or maybe I will take 1001, 1002, 1003, and 1004. This is one way. And the next key I am giving as names. Let me keep a capital R if possible. And so I hope that you remember the dictionaries. When we have been talking about dictionaries, we have key value pair, right? The value can be anything like your list, your your set or something. So a list also contains different sets or tuples or any other thing here. Okay, so actually basically we consider it as a list or a individual value also. That's your wish, but now we are actually considering it as a single list. So for each key you have a list of values. Let me fill out with this. So Kranti, Kiran, something oh, I'm sorry, I need to give it a string, Mandava, and then I will go for some Ram or something. Okay, Ram. Right. So I see this whatever I have given. So first in this dictionary, which opens with a flower bracket, that means the brace, you have a key, and it is followed by your list of roll numbers, and there is a key called names, and it is followed by the list of names here. Let me check out how we can represent this data. This is a very raw data, right? This is a representation as a dictionary, and we don't know how it is stored in the memories, but still we can do something like this. We want to visualize it in a very clean way, in a very crystal clear way. Let me go through this. So I can say something like a df is equal to pandas dot data frame of, we want to pass this data set into that. Okay, I can call it something like a student data, student underscore data instead of set, maybe, because we have a habit of calling it a set, because whatever data we are working in a scientific environment, we call it as data set. So I have kept that name. So I have shortcut this df as, because df will become an object of data frame now, as we have discussed in the classes, how we can create an object for a class. The same way I am doing it now. I have created a small object, and we have this data frame now, and this df is becoming a object of this class called, so df actually is a reference variable referring to an object. Um, okay, something like the data frame class, and we have the student data inside it, because now we are passing the whole dictionary as a parameter. So we can also create our own data frame representation, but it is something like a huge task. Okay. Let me take into consideration this one. So now let us print df. Let us see what it will print. Okay, so print df. Let me check out how it will be. And Python 3 space pandas demo.py. Yeah, you can see here how actually it works. Whatever I am highlighting in the terminal, you can just check out. So you can see that the roll number and names have been given as indexes for the columns. The beauty of this is that this data frame has, index for the columns and also for the rows. And we are very lucky to have our own index names. Like we said that for a list, we have by default zeros and ones as indexes. And for dictionaries, we have our user defined keys. I hope when I'm telling the example in the dictionary section, you might have remembered that I told you like 0, 1, 2, 3 indexes are something like keys to the value in a list. But here in dictionary, we have our own set of keys defined by the user, not like list default 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. So we have taken the keys as representing the columns itself. That is the reason why I have written like this. See the parallel between the dictionary and this. This roll number is holding 01, 02, 03, and 04. And in the same sense, in the single column, it is holding the same values. And for names also, Kranti, Kiran, Mandava, Ram have been given, and you can see how it has taken it. It's so simple that a representation in a data frame makes our work very easy because we can directly view it. So the process of making a dictionary containing some values and some data into a visualized representation in the form of the data frame, the data structures representation, you can just take this class and do this line. This is the simple thing that you can do. Okay. And remember, this pandas is having this class, and hence we are representing it pandas dot data frame. When I explain you about even this creation of the user defined packages in the next recording, I will also, ask you to just understand why this has been happened, like pandas dot data frame or something. Okay. Right. So this is the one we have been discussing about these data frames and getting this. Let me ask you to create something like this one. So this is called a CSV file. You can simply see that what is the CSV file is. Here, the advantage in the VS Code is you can create all the types of files that you want actually. I can create a JSON file, I can create a CSV file, which is really used for our purpose. And I think in the previous classes, I have even created a .html file, right? And this by creating some extension. So CSV stands for the comma separated values. So you can see that they all are separated by the commas. Let me give something like VSP, and this also VSP. Okay, right. So this is the case that I want to discuss about. Each line is putting this one, and you can see that these are the rows for each student with some roll number. So roll number is 6001. Then you might ask me, sir, how I can say this is a roll number? Yeah, the first line of every CSV file is actually corresponding or referring to all the elements in this column. So student roll is actually the first row, right? This is the first column, not the row, it's the first column. And what is there in the first column? 6001, 6002, 6003, 6004. And in the second column, we have the name, right? What is there in the name column? Krantikiran, Ram, Krishna, and Narasimha. Now, you can imagine it like a dictionary itself. Simple thing is like you can say that student role, uh, close it, and if you open the dictionary, you can say 6001, 6002, and so on. And we have another key called name, the same format that I have explained you earlier. And you can say this as Kranti Kiran, some name, and then you have Ram, and then you have Krishna, and so on. So this all corresponds to, for example, it considers like 6001 is corresponding to Kranti Kiran, 6002 is corresponding to Ram, and so like that. So this is the appearance of CSV file, the same equivalent of what is appearing in the dictionary, and the same equivalent of what needs to be appearing in the data frame. Okay, right. So once you open the file, you can say we can create a new file. And when you create a new file, please try to save it like this, save as. And whenever you are doing something, you can say demo.csv something and save it. That's all. It will be okay for you. And after you save this file, it will turn like this icon showing that it is green color, including the data and all. So now coming back to this, 1 second. Yeah, you can write this type of data and save it. Okay, and save it. That's all. Mm, let me take this. Yeah, I will cancel this one to come back to my previous thing. What is this? Yes, I got it. I just do it. Okay, right. So this is how we have done it. And now I ask you to create a small JSON file. Now you know how to create a CSV file, right? And you also know how to visualize something in the dictionary. And you also have seen the parallels between the CSV and dictionary. Now, if I ask you to create a JSON file, I will show you a small. This is a JSON file actually. This along with the thing that I will share these two files with you, but please try to make sure that you also create it. Actually, this JSON file actually looks like a dictionary itself. You can also create JSON files with this extension called JSON, JSON, okay, which I am showing now. Put some name dot JSON. You can also create, you can say take new file in VS Code, and in that paste all the items that which I am giving now here, which I am showing now, and which I will also pass it on to you, and save it as .json file. It will become .json file. And the beauty of this JSON file is it is entirely a dictionary type. So it is very easy for us to bring out the dictionaries in it. So I will tell you how simple it will be, and this is not related to pandas when you are parsing the JSON file and bringing out the dictionaries, but still I want to tell you how to get this and the real-time applications, how you do. Because if you need to understand why we are trying to visualize a dictionary into data frame, first you need to understand how we get a dictionary. Remember, when we are discussing about files, right, every time the data which is permanently stored, for example, all your data, when you are students in Geetham and even your alumni, your entire data is actually stored in a hard disk, right? So when you are storing this in a hard disk, whenever you want to visualize something on the monitor, while discussing files, we told you how RAM is very important. So we bring all the data to what we say the RAM, and we bring it as a dictionary data structure. But visualizing something like the JSON file is actually stored in the hard disk or your SSD. This is a permanent and persistent data. Even if you shut down your system, it will never get deleted. So it's a permanent file. So you take all the data. You want to load all the data into RAM for permanent, for temporarily viewing it onto the monitor. So I said everything that you view on the monitor is actually loaded onto your RAM, and then only you can visualize something on your monitor. So what I do is I get this data from JSON file, and I keep it in the RAM in the form of dictionary data structure. But now I want to visualize it in a very easy way. So I convert it into data frame and visualize it. That's what it's showing on my monitor actually, right? So here you clearly observe that I open a dictionary like earlier, which I have done, right? This is the one, right? This is where I'm opening a dictionary. Okay, this is where I'm opening a dictionary. I have a key here, and I'm sorry, I think something. Okay, I got my thing. Yeah, this is where I open the dictionary, and this is where my key is starting and its values are starting. And you can see this, these values can also be dictionaries. That's what I said. You can go back to JSON and see clearly. Dictionary is the, duration is the key that was given. But for each duration, for every row, it is to say that it is like a row, we are giving like this. Again, I give the dictionary as values. Why I'm giving? Because I'm giving my user defined row key. Now, which I have shown in the terminal, right? Here, the roll number and the names are actually the user defined keys for this column, the user defined index values for this column, right? And here you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3 is there. These are by default, like your list or something. But now I want to change them. This 0, 1, 2, 3 are actually the integers. The 0, 1, 2, 3, which I am highlighting, are actually integers, and they are the index of this one. Now I want to make them as my own. So here I can keep any values. So, but still, to make a demo purpose, I'm giving 0 without any confusion, but I'm giving still it as a string. So let us consider that duration might be a particular, key for a row, sorry, a column which indicates the time. So instead of roll number, you just imagine there is something called duration, right? And all these things are, at row called in string 0, we have 60, next 60, 60, 45. All these are arranged in columns. Imagine them as arranged in columns, okay? And coming back to the next one, let me see. So how much data is there, right? Yeah, we got finished it. Next, we got pulse. Imagine in place of names, we got pulse, and all the pulse will be placed in this column. But who are coming to the same row? You can simply see that 110 comes at 0th row, and I named it as 0th row. That's why I have given it as a string. The same thing happens here now. The 60 also comes as a 0th row. And the simple example I can give is it will appear like this. Maybe I can take some other file. I can show you here. So it will appear like this. So it will say role, sorry, what is that we have taken? Something like yeah, duration and pulse. So these are the things that are there, and you have 0 and you have 1, 2, right? Something like that. And here you need to give 60 and the pulse as 110. And here also the next thing is also 60, right? And the pulse is something like 120 or something. So this is how your data frame arrangement will look like, okay? So here you can clearly see the duration is taken as the key for all the elements like this, which are indicating it. So instead of this, if I give directly like, I open this one and I give it like duration, and I say, okay, instead of dictionary, I give a list of 60, 60, 60, 80, or something like this. And instead of this, I can also give pulse as a key, and I can give 110. Yes, this is how I can also write the values to be. And you know how they will arrange, they will get arranged under duration, all 60s will be there, under pulse, all 110s will be there, but they have a default index 0, 1, 2. Here, in this case, I'm sorry. So in this case, which I am telling you now, this one, where is it? Yeah, it's JSON, right? In this case, it is not like a list they are giving. Again, they are giving a dictionary with a key value pair, because key value pair allows us to define our own index keys. Instead of 0, I can keep A. Instead of 1, I can keep B. Instead of 2, I can keep C. You can also try out by just changing a few things. Okay. Then they all get matched. Okay. So this is a dictionary. This is a key for another dictionary where we have this one. Instead of this dictionary, you can also define something like a list like this. Okay. You can also define a list, but when you give it as a list, now, because list has default keys like 0, 1, 2, 3 as their indexes, it will take like that. But instead of this, if I want those default values to be changed like A, B, C, I can also change it. I can use them. So please remember to experiment, to know and understand it. So if you don't understand what is this, you can just experiment it and know. So because I have given like this, you don't need to get confused. It's a dictionary. Simply you can expand it on your own when I pass on the file to you, and you can also look into it. Let us come back. Okay, so let me take a small thing for you. So this is a dictionary, right? This is a stride dictionary I am giving, and this is where you are directly parsing down the dictionary into data frame and looking after it. And everything is going on in RAM. But for the first time, now we take some data from a JSON file, which is in the hard disk, and can convert it into a dictionary onto RAM, which is a primary memory. And this will be again turned into data frame so that our visualization will be very easy. So now I'll write something after. So you can also import JSON. Sorry. So this is also by default, you can do it. There is no need for you to install it separately. It comes with your package. I'm sorry. Something has happened. Yeah. Okay. Now we take from JSON file and bring it to RAM in hard disk and bring it to RAM as dictionary and visualize it as data frame. Okay. Now let us see how we can do it. So as in files, I have told you, you can do it like this with open our file, right? So we have something like, I'll also explain you os.path.join or os.path. What is that os.path later on during this explanations, okay? So we have this open. Yeah, we need to open the file. What we see, what is the file name? Yes, data.json. And I will open it in a read mode, and I will say as f. These are all the things that we have discussed during this file opening and all, right? This is another way of opening the file as f. And so in files we generally open it directly, right? F is equal to open of data.json or something. You can also open files like using with as a keyword. So with open, this is the new thing that if you are unable to learn, I am telling you the new thing that you can do. Now, with open this one as f, it's almost all equal to something like this. You can look into this. So f is equal to open of uh, data.json, okay, and in read mode like this you can also do it, okay, but I'm referring to this one, more professional, okay. So let us take dict is equal to, if it comes as keyword actually, dict is equal to, so we got the suggestion, right? Json dot load of f. This Json is what we are importing, right? And this contains some function called load, which only loads the Json file into it. And after loading it, it converts into dictionary. During loading, it converts into dictionary, and it's referred by dict in the RAM. So now let us print what is this dict. Okay, let us print this dict and we will look into that. Save it and let us clear it. Python demo. Yeah, you can see here how all the values have come. You can see the entire dictionary representation. I will just expand a little. You can see that the dictionary is opened with duration as key, and again the dictionaries are opened with our own keys for the values that we have. And you can see how many values have been added with their new keys, sub keys, and all. You can just test it later on when you get the file. Okay. So now you got your dictionary, right? And this dictionary can be used as pillow, like how you have used it here. So I write the same statements. Okay. So I'll write df is equal to pandas.data frame of your dict, right? This time it is dict. And now print dict. Okay, save it. Let me see how it will actually work. Just try to drag it here. I think I did not save this one. Save. Let me save. Okay, let me try out. Why is it not saving down? I have done it in Python pandas demo, right? Okay, let me open save it. Okay, I'm sorry. This I'm printing every time the dict itself. This is where I have got into mistake, right? DF. It should be DF because when we compare with when we get the dictionary and convert it into data frame, this is the data frame is referred by DF. Now, if you want data frame to be printed format, you need to print DF, not dict. Dict is pointing to a dictionary. It's not pointing to the data frame, right? So let us clear it and use the same thing. Yeah, you can understand that because there are a lot of rows, it is giving something like dot dot dot. You can also print each row. I will tell you how you can print each row later on when we come to the other things, right? One by one we will look into that. So this is you can also get the total number of rows and columns that we have. This is the lower one which I have created. This is where we are parsing from a JSON file from the internet. I have downloaded that particular JSON file from the internet, and I have used the JSON file to convert it into dictionary and load it into RAM. And then I have converted it into data frame to visualize it properly, right? This is how better it is visualized. You see, actually these are default indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are already created by us as double quotes. Try to put A, B, C, D if you have. We cannot put A, B, C, D. The reason is we can also create like this. We have done this one. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can also approach me in the class. Okay, so your doubts will get clarified if you directly interact with me if you have anything. So the thing that we learned until now is we can convert a data into a dictionary into data frame, and you can also take a JSON file, parse it by using import JSON, the JSON package, and we can convert it into a dictionary, and using this dictionary again we can visualize it as data frame, and we can do all sorts of analysis on it. Very easy, right? You can also get CSV files. You can also get CSV into data frame. I will tell you how you can do it, that one also. The other way that you can do is you can also say import pandas as PD. This is a famous thing that everybody will do. So when you said import pandas as PD, this PD indicates that this pandas, are renamed it. For example, you all have a nickname, right? So our PD is the nickname at this particular situation for pandas. So this is actually done because if the packages are having a large name, every time typing the large name is very difficult. So instead of PD, we can every time say just, pandas, we can every time say just PD, and it will definitely understand. Let us execute this one also for your benefit so that you will understand it. Yeah, it is working properly, right? That is the reason I got the output. So this is the other way that you can also import by renaming it into a shortcut and use the shortcut inside it. So from now onwards, we can use the shortcut. So you will be familiar with this particular one, right? So before going to the next data frame concepts, let me go to something called series. So series in Python, let me bring down all these things. I will pass it also for you. Let me cover this one. Okay, right. You can check all the programs which I have written. Don't by heart it, but you need to go through all this. So now let us go for series. So this series is is like just a column. It's just a column, that's all, in a table. So when we take this table, right, when we take this table, this is one column, this is one series. As I have told you that a 2D array is a combination of n number of single dimensional arrays, right? Is it true? When you are getting an array 1 2 3 4, it's a single dimensional. But if you combine this 1 2 3 4 n number of times, maybe 3 times, like this which I am writing here, you can see. Maybe I will push it down so that you can understand it. So 1 2 3 4, this is how I have written. This is a single dimensional array. When I said 1 2 3 4, now this becomes like a matrix, and you can also say this is a 2D. So it is a combination of many single dimensional arrays, that is n dimensional arrays. Okay, now you understand that this dictionary also has these n dimensions, single dimensional. So that means each row will have and multiple values in it. And now here you talk about a column is just like a column. So for example, I have given, right? So here in a slight reverse way we have. So earlier I said 60, 60, 60 in a list, right? So that actually indicates that they are placed in a straight line in a column. So let me take out something like this. So there is something called ls is equal to list of integers, maybe 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm giving. Let me print this series. Okay, so answer is equal to series, it should be PD. In PD we have this series, right? Series of we will say ls. Okay, so we have this ls here. And now you can print ls. So it actually prints normal. Let us see how it prints. Let me take this above. Clear. You can see it prints it like a list itself, because according to this particular one, we consider it like a column. Earlier, have you seen that we have a key and we have a list, and this list is entirely displayed as something. So in 2D array, we consider them as each row, right? Each row is a single dimensional array. But now we have a column represented as a series. And getting a series is very easy. When you talk about series, it's also very easy for you to say, let me say answer this time, and save it and see how it actually prints. Have you seen how it has printed? Earlier, when I have printed ls, it printed a list, right? This list is now actually printed as column. How it has printed, you see, without any names above. This is a single column, so that is why it doesn't expect any index value for this column. Earlier, we have multiple columns, so each column should be having an index, right? So any index like name, student roll number, the index key that we have. Here, because we have something like multiple or only single column but multiple rows, for rows only it has been awarded with this particular index key. So have you seen that 1 belongs to 0th index, 2 belongs to 1 index, 3 belongs to 2 index, and same thing has been represented here also. And it says it belongs to the integer 64-bit. Okay, so it also consists of 4 bytes for each integer that we had in it. Okay, now let us see that this is the answer that we got, right? And if I want to print only one thing, like one, maybe let me change this one so that you will understand much better. Save it. Yeah, this time I'm printing only this index, right? So if I remove this index, let me clear it and show you this. Oh, I did not save it. Yeah, you can see that 0th index is 100, 1 is 20, and 2 is 90. If you want to print something like 90 value, you can give something like 2, the same as we call in the list, and gives us the answer. Simple, right? Very few lines. And actually, these are called the default index values. 0, 1, 2 are the default index values. But if you want to give your own, one thing you can give is, before converting this list into your data frame, something like series. It's not data frame. This is also one type of structure in which you are giving the series. I can say I can convert the index into something like this. I can say A, B, and C. If you want more detail to be done, you can, because this is a string, you can give it any other way. Let me think about like this. If this is the case, how it will be done. Save it. I want to print the answer. This is all experimentations, right? It's very fine. Okay, I did not save it. Yeah, you can see here that A was given with 100, B was given with 20, and C was given with 90. This is how it will be done. Okay. So this is one thing I have given to you. This is one thing. And it's a great aspect that we can have our own indexes, right? So during our analysis, sometimes we want to give like this A, B, C. We can give some questions and multiple choice answers like that. And we can go through these particular things. So let me go through a dictionary also. Now we have seen a list, right? This is a list that we have gone through. Let me go to dictionary in the same program. Dicty. I will use the dicty here, and I will say maybe you can say distance traveled. What can I do? What can I do? Okay, let me take like this. First hour is sorry, something like I am preparing my timetable. Okay, Python. So second hour, you will have single individual things, right? So one key and one value, not the list of values. So it consists of, we think that it consists of one row, but let me see how it will be going through. Maths. Okay, I will leave it here. So now our dictee is prepared, right? So now what I will do with this dictee is I will say answer is equal to pd dot series of dictee. So this is our dictionary, right? So this is our dictionary that we have with the dictee. Let me print this answer here. Okay. So until now we have been doing with the list, and now we are performing with dictionary. Let us see how well it will perform with us. Okay. So save it and clear it. Just try to execute. I can see that the first hour is Python, the second hour is maths. That's what it is giving, right? Because it is only one dimensional. It is not having multiple values. So in giving on the upper, like first hour and second hour, if you would have given multiple values as list instead of this, maybe let us assume what it will give. But still, we are considering it as series, right? So let me think how this series will give us this one. Let us try to experiment it. Save as, yeah. So still it was given like a list itself, because most probably it is series. But if you call it like data frame, it might be quite different. Maybe we will also experiment with calling as data frame so that you will understand what it might be. So pd dot data frame. Let us try to execute this. Okay. Here it says something like you must pass the scalar values, you must pass an index. Yeah, so this is where it is going down, because it is not working properly for this particular situation. So instead of this, if you go for series only, it might give us a correct answer, because the dictionary, which is expecting something different, it is expecting a dictionary with some values in it, and it is not a single value. It cannot give it like this. Maybe if we give it like this, maybe let us see if we do something like this and experiment with it. Let us say data frame, save it here. It is giving it, right? So this is first hour, we have Python, second hour, we have math. So first hour and second hour are given as the columns, and that means the keys to the entire column. Okay, and we have only one row it considers as. Without this list type of representation of the values, have you observed that it is not giving the correct solution to us? Okay, so this is the to use the data frame, it should be as list. For using series, so we don't need anything like representing as a list, and it only expects a single value. Okay, so this is one aspect that we have, and we can also change the keys like that. You can also explore the intermediate tasks that you can do in this. So we have finished with this series. So when we come to the data frames, we have also discussed about how we will get the data and how we represent the data in that. But in dictionary, and sorry, in your what we say data frame, until now we have been printing something as a whole, right? All the values we are trying to print. Let us come to the old fashioned example that we had earlier, so which I kept in comment, right? Yeah, this is the example, I think. Okay, I will close it with it. Yeah. So in this case, you see, using data frame, we are completely printing out all the dictionary. Let us execute and show it again. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not see it. Somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry. This is okay. Maybe. Yeah. You see, this is the earlier example, the first example we are talking about. It is printing all those things, but you want only this Kiran and 1002 to should be printed. So something df we have. This df is an object for a reference to an object which is belonging to the data frame class, right? If we say df dot, maybe yes, not dot, yeah, dot loc, which is a location. And what is that one we want? Yeah, one. Let me see, let me check out what it will print now. Okay, yeah, see that we are only asking for individual things, right? So it is giving for individual, like as if it is a series. So roll number is 1002, names is equal to Kranti. Easy, right? So visualize data in a very easy way in this. For example, if I want from 1 to 3, let me see what will happen for 1 to 3. So I'm slicing it and checking out. Yeah. You can see that from 1 to 3, everything has been given. Kiran, Mandava, and Ram. Kranti has been eliminated in our thing. If you demand one row, it will give roll number is equal to 1002 and name as Kiran. But if you demand something like a series of rows, this is how actually it gives. Um, let me check like this. If I want maybe exactly some rows, maybe I want to give it like this. I can do it like this, and also 1 comma 2. Let us try to do it. This is the other way that you can do. Let us try to check out. Yeah, we got it right. So Kiran and Mandava were also given in this aspect in location, and it clearly gives us the values that what we want to do. And if you want to really change this indexes, so have you seen that by default you have something like this. If you want to print the entire df, you can see that something has happened here that okay, haven't I saved it? For the first time it is not saving, right? Yeah, you can see that it is 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the default things, right? I want to change these default things. I can change it like this, like earlier series. I can change it. I can give index is equal to, I will give something like student 1, next student 2, and because each row I am giving my own student 3, 2, 3, 4. This is the last one, student 4. Okay, we have given our own indexes for our rows. Let us see. So we have given our own index for our columns. Now we are giving our own index for the rows, specifically mentioning it should be like this. Let us save it. Clear. Yeah, you can see here 0, 1, 2, 3 have been given with this column indexes. The student 1, 2, 3, 4 has been changed. So I hope you are trying to understand what exactly I mean to say in this particular aspect. So this is how you can change, and you can also now search for a particular thing like dot loc of student one like this, and you can get the initial data, right? Yes, you can see that the student one is nothing but with 1001, and it is Kranti, and you can say the name is this, and the data type is an object. Now, for this, we can also go for reading a CSV file and also JSON file directly into data frame. So earlier we have converted a JSON file into dictionary and from dictionary to data frame, right? Now we can bring something like we can create something into data frame using that CSV and also this JSON files. Let us see how we can do it. Let me mask this all. So I have a CSV file, right? The CSV file is nothing but which I am pointing now the student data CSV. Okay. Now what I will do is I will just create it like this. Mm, so what I can do is, okay. So because I have imported pandas, so okay, let me go with my own way that pd dot we have some function called read CSV, and you need to give that file name student data dot CSV. Okay, just it's a very straightforward way that you can read it. You can just say df. Let me check out how it will read it. Okay, you can see that whatever that I give in the CSV, have you seen this student role? And you can see the same thing here also in this, the student role, name, branch, and campus is the first line is always the key to the entire column. So they are the keys to the entire values in that column. So why it is saying nan, because earlier I did not give VSP there and I have modified it. So because I might have not have saved it, it is giving the same thing. Now let us run it again. This time maybe it will give the correct point. Okay, so we got this VSP, right? So you can also change it during this one, and index names and also you can also try out this. And CSV files analysis is very good aspect that you can do, and you can go for direct DF so that you have your entire thing to be printed. Okay, right. So this is all what we need. And to print the entire thing, you can also say toString. So earlier we did not get that JSON file, right? Let us observe not this way, but the other way we can observe it. Let me mask through it, and I will tell you how this will actually happen. So let us take with JSON. So for JSON reading also, we have something like this. We have we can do the same thing, df dot, it's not pd dot, it is read underscore. We have something which is yeah, we got this read underscore JSON, right? So we are reading JSON file, and you can go with our JSON. So data dot JSON, which I have downloaded and I have made it, right? Just now I have shown you what is JSON file. This is the one. Okay, this is the one with the dictionaries, and you can clearly observe that we have this one. Just print it, print df. So let us see what df will print. Okay, I just want to save it here. See, it is actually cut short it because it has large values. Let me check out like this. If, for example, if I can use to string, let us check out like this. Clear. Yeah, I see. It is printing the entire data. It is printing the entire data, whatever it has with it, without any cut shots or something. You have some nans also. That means you don't have some data on it particular one. So this is all the way that you can think about this particular one. Okay. Uh, so I will tell you why we use toString here. Tostrings are something like, the function which generally we do it in the classes. One thing we can say, we can create something like the whole thing that should be returned when the toString is called. Let me show you one thing. I want to write a small class file. Maybe I have this in this. Okay. So this is a very small class file which I have created, right? I have created a class called LST. Earlier for both of your sections, I have been telling how you can create an object for the list where I am passing the list as a parameter itself. If I'm trying to print the list only ls, let me check out what will happen in this. So I don't want to return. I'm just testing something. I had a bad habit of writing all this nonsense if I get some frustration. So let me see. Self dot lists should be returned to get it printed. Save it. This is one way that we can write. So clear. It is class underscore demo, right? Class underscore demo. String returned non-string value. Yeah, we need to convert it into str, of course. This is by default. You will have this hyphen str, right? So let me check out this. Yeah, you got these values. See here, this 1, 2, 3, 4 have been given here, right? Now, if I create something like my own, as it said, to underscore string function, and it is having self, I am returning something like the whole values, whatever values they are, as a string to get it printed. So it prints it as a string. Let me call this one dot to string. Okay. Right. The same thing that we are doing there in the dictionaries df.toString. I'm creating my own toString where I'm getting it. So I have created a class in which I have passed a list as L, and this list is assigned to the objects list. So your 1, 2, 3, 4 is assigned to your object referred by ls. As for both of your classes, I have been dealing with this class concept. And when I have said like ls dot toString, the toString function will be called and the entire list is returned as a string itself. Let me check out by saving it here. And oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you can see that the entire thing has been given as a string itself. And that has been printed when I have called for ls dot toString. That's the same idea that we use here for this. Okay, df dot toString. So in the next sessions, I'm continuing it. I have this cleaning data and cleaning empty cells and doing something with the wrong format or something and removing the duplicates. Okay. Okay. So let us start with this cleaning of data, which I need to arrange it. Let me check about running this one. Just a second. Right. So here, let me clear it. We have this pandas demo, right? Let us run it and see, we have all the data that we got. So now have you seen this? This is nan in the sense nothing was given. And this actually in CSV files or JSON files, if this is not filled, for example, in our previous data, I have just removed, right? This is how I have done it. So I'm just removing this data I'm not giving this VSP to these two people like 6002 and 6004. When we call this CSV to read and do all the data thing, then this will be given as NAN. Let us see how it will give. Let me save it. So I will just mask this one. To print all the data, I want df dot toString, as we have discussed earlier. Okay, df dot toString. Okay, this is what I want to discuss. So save it. So I want the student data to be read, right? So let me clear, execute. So have you seen that when something is not given, earlier VSP was given, VSP is there. If nothing is given, so it gives us none, that none in the sense that nothing is there and there is no data. That's what the representation of this. So the equivalent is actually nothing is there, so it is none, and we are giving it like this. Okay, fine. So coming to our own task, let me try to remove none in this data frame and make a change in that. So I don't want any columns that are in the none. I want a new data frame to be created. I don't want to touch this data frame, which is having these none values also. Create a new data frame in which the none rows are just removed. So these are the two things that are removed. Okay. And only I want Krantikiran and Krishna to be given because they are belonging to some campuses. That's what I want to try out to find out how we can get it. So to deal with it, I have something called drop. So when you study database tables, database management system, so you don't understand such terms now at this stage, but still I want to just give an idea to you that the drop tables or something there. So if you don't want something, you can drop a row, you can drop the table itself. So in this particular table, which you can imagine like rows and columns, you want to drop all the rows which are having that campuses are nothing, and you want to only get new things. So I don't want to touch this data frame, like for example, DF. I want to create a new one after getting this DF. So what I will do is I will just slight modification. So I will say duplicate underscore df is equal to something like, I will say pd dot data frame. No, it is not about data frame. That's okay. I'm sorry. Df dot. Let me check what are the things that are there. Yeah, I got it right. So some suggestions are there. So in this duplicate df, I want to find out is it drop na or only drop? Yeah, it's about drop na, DROPNA. So just a second. Yeah, we have drop na. Just do it like this. So the drop na, in the sense here you see NAN, right? That na, whatever nothing is there in that, but no attribute is there in that. So you can say that drop now should be kept. And now if you want to print it, now print the new one actually. So duplicate df dot toString. Save it. Again, I want to save it. Clear. Have you seen that the na has been dropped? The same thing happens with this JSON also. If you want to drop everything that in the JSON file with there, if there is no values like none and all, you can also use the same function drop now. You can also say that if something is true or something, you have something like this. By default, it is always true. In this drop now, you can write. So you can write in place is equal to true. This is also fine. Let us see, save it and check out what happens here. So none type object has no something like toString. Yeah, that's fine. The problem here is I'm trying to modify this df itself. I don't want to create. Now, in the earlier example, what happened is first I passed the CSV file to df pointed data frame of student data. Okay. And then I created a duplicate df which has only the values, sorry, rows that are not having NaN. So we are not changing any memory of this df data frame. Df is still having those NaN, but there is some duplicate df that was created with no NaN rows, but only the rows whose entire values are filled with some value instead of NaN. Now here what I'm doing is I'm not creating any other duplicate. I'm changing itself. So what I'm doing is in df data frame itself, wherever NaN is there itself I'm changing. That means I'm entirely deleting that particular row in the data frame. So the df which is there in the RAM is itself pointing to some location where all the rows having NaN are just deleted and our data without NaNs is ready to get stored in some part. So df is equal to df dot drop now in place true will actually help for that. So I hope you understand. Without in place true, it expects a duplicate reference ID and a new memory to be created for the filtered values. But here in place true in the sense you keep the data there itself. Don't create any new duplicate memory for all the filtered values. You keep there itself. Just drop down or delete the rows in between. That's all. That's what it is giving. Save as. Anything, I did not save it. Maybe. Oh, I am giving like this. It should not be. Yeah, because df dot drop now directly we can do. Assignment should be happening with only duplicate, and that's the problem I faced. Clear. Yeah, you can see in the df itself, the NaN has been collapsed. Collapsed in the sense they have been removed from that particular row. Okay. Now, for example, I want to just fill out with something like instead of wherever the Visakhapatnam VSP is not there, I want to fill it with BLG Bangalore campus. So the students who are actually having a NaN in place are just recently assigned to Bangalore campus. For example, we think like that. Then what happens is what I will do instead of drop now, I will say something like whoever is not given VSP will be assigned to Bangalore. So I will say fill now. So wherever you have this now, you fill it with some values like, BLG. Okay, so here actually we don't have any values, right? Here there is no ESP, here there is no ESP. For 2 and 4, there is no assignment that is done for the campuses. So now we are doing the assignment as a whole. Save it and clear. Have you seen this? That wherever BSP is not there, the Bangalore campus has been given in place of BSP. So you might now have understood that in the same DF data frame, we have this true and we have changed it with the values we want. Okay. And there are other ways like mean, medium, and mode. You can also find out the mean and you can do it. And the best part is that you can also go for changing some what we say the rows itself. For example, we have NaN in that, right, and Bangalore and all. So I can directly go for like this. This is one way. Wherever you find a NaN, you replace it with BLG. But have you just observed that if I had nan in the place of branch, it will also change it with BLG. Let us experiment with it. So for example, I have nothing here, nothing here, only RAM is there. Okay. Now let us experiment with this. I hope you are understanding what I am telling, because fill na BLG wherever I am telling wherever it is none. So I think BLG will be placed. That's all. Let us see. Clear. Yeah, have you seen this? It's disgusting, right? In the branch place, how you can keep BLG. So I want something different for this. So I want only the campuses. I want to search for campuses now and fill it with that. So what I can do is I can just go for campus and fill it. So okay. Uh, so I have read DF, right? So instead of DF, what I will give is um, okay. So we have that df dot df of something. Okay, instead of df, let me take a campus. Okay, and fill na Bangalore in place true. Let me check out if this is fine with my idea or not. It says something like wrong. Key error. Is there any fault with the campus for my side? Okay, let me check out once a little. Yeah, it is capital C. That's what we got. So campus, save it. Let us check out. Again, we got some wrong. Just clear campus. Save it. Try to print it. Yeah, it's correct, right? So I want only to make it print something like that. So maybe I can say it as clearly string. I am placing it. Can't I print something like that? I fill it like this. It should happen. What could be the mistake? Let me check out. campus campus dot fill now. Will it be okay? According to me, it is okay. Let me try to run it or save it. Exception. What is the exception? Should we write something like local or something? Okay, it is actually CSV file. That okay, no problem. In the CSV file also, that's fine for us to read it. 1 second, I'll just go through this error. Okay, it's actually working for JSON with this one. I need to figure out why it is unable to work out with campus. Is there any mistake I have done during the creation of CSV? I need to find out. I want to also see whether this is correct way of doing this. I just kept RAM like this. The other two things are it is not able to detect. Maybe there might be some technical issues, so I will clarify it in the class later on how we can, why there is a problem that arised. But when I have checked for this type of JSON, I'm getting it like I can change the calories because I find none basically in the calories part. So I have changed it with fill now with 130 and in place is equal to true. So so it is like taking the column named with calories, like you can see in the down part. Yeah, I'm just underlying it in the down part. You can see the calories column and filling up with 130 wherever we have this na. It works for JSON. Actually, this is an example I have found out that it works for JSON, but why I had a problem with this working, and I will just find out and figure out why it is having some problem in that. You can also explore the functions like mean, medium, and mode later on or through internet something, and you can do it. So with this, I will just stop this recording, and I will continue with later recordings. Like I will talk about how you can do it with wrong format and all. And I think some things you can explore. I have explained the basic part because trying out will be very easy for you. I have explained the basic part because you might not understand what is this and what is that. So I need to explain some basics of every concept here, but most probably these are very easy. With 2 or 3 lines you can easily understand when you see look into it. So some part I am leaving it for your self learning because this is the 5th unit, and by this time you might have some matured mind of doing it. So please go through the other things that you can find in the internet. Not many things are there. You can also go through this wrong for format and wrong data, but don't just try to imitate what they have done. Please try to do it on your own by creating your own thing. So you can also go for w3schools.com, which is the source for some of my, the CSV I have created anyway. The JSON file I have downloaded from it because it's a very good example that was given there. So you can follow the instructions that were given for very few things, but sometimes you might fall into the pit of only learning what the example they have told. But that is the reason why I have taken various examples to discuss with you in this. You can go through this. Okay, so now I'll share the recording with you and go through this concept. In the next concept, in the next recording, I will try to figure out what's the problem that I have faced here, and the wrong format, the right examples that they have given. Now we will discuss about that, and we will continue with our, what we say, the NumPy. Okay, bye bye for this particular topic.